Hi girls, today you will learn about the Spanish influences. Here are the learning targets. As early as the 1590s, the Franciscans, a group of priests belonging to a religious order, arrived in the Philippines to establish pueblos or towns. They ordered the missionary to reside with the Filipinos where the church and convent would be constructed. The natives were required to construct their houses around the church. Through the Reducción, the Spaniards attempted to convince the natives to convert to Christianity through the convento or casa, or the real or plaza. Those who rejected the Spanish colonization were considered bandits or tulisanes by the Spaniards. Social classification. The society of Hispanic Philippines was determined by race and religion. The highest level in the Hispanic society was reserved for the Peninsulares. Peninsulares are the Spaniards born in Spain. They are the most powerful and wealthiest of all social classes. Insulares, on the other hand, are pure-blooded Spaniards born in the colonies like the Philippines. Although they held significant powers, they experienced discrimination from fellow Spaniards born in Spain. The Principalia are the nobility class who were educated and lived in the towns of the Hispanic Philippines. They were composed of the gobernadorcillo and the cabeza de barangay who governed the districts or towns. They were exempted from forced labor and were allowed to vote. Mestizos. This class was composed of Filipino, European, and Chinese ancestry. The Ilustrados are composed of educated Filipinos. Coming from middle class families, they had the opportunity to attend prestigious schools in the Philippines and abroad. Their exposure to Spanish liberal and European nationalist ideas played an important role in the rise of Filipino nationalism. The Indios were Christianized natives. Hispanization of Names. Governor General Narciso Claveria issued a decree to standardize records of Filipino names and surnames in 1849. He distributed a list of family names to the heads of the provinces. The list, in alphabetical order, was based on the Spanish surnames. The list also included names of places, plants, animals, art products, and character traits both in the native language and in Spanish. Land ownership. The law of Spain for its colonies states that the King of Spain is the owner of all lands in the Philippines. His authority to designate residential land in the pueblo and land for cultivation was rooted in law. The names of the Filipinos who reside and cultivate the land were not placed in the certificate of ownership of land. Land that the friars received from the king was called hacienda, or agricultural estate. Compared to the land of a pueblo, the hacienda is so much larger. The friars allowed the Filipinos to cultivate the land that have not been used for parishes. System of education. The percentage of literacy in the Philippines was relatively high during Hispanic times. The missionaries built schools, colleges, and universities as ordered by the King of Spain. The first schools were parochial schools with the Spanish missionaries as teachers. They taught the Catholic doctrine primarily, followed by the three R's: arithmetic, writing and reading, music, and various arts and trades. Escuela Pia, which later became the Ateneo de Manila, and University of Santo Tomas were built during the Spanish times. The school for secondary level for boys was called Colegio. They had four subjects: grammar, physics and math, philosophy, and science. The school for secondary education of girls was called Beaterio. Most often, they were placed under the care of the King of Spain. The principal subject matter taught to the beatas or students were Christianity and good conduct. They were also taught how to read, write, count, sew, and sing in a choir. By the time they finished their study, the society expected them to be good wives and mothers.